What's up, guys? I'm back with another manga review of Vinland Saga. Now, you may have seen posted on my channel that I did a big review of the Vinland Saga anime series Season 1. I just couldn't help myself. I had to watch it. I had to finish it because it was just so addicting and so good. And it was all right there on Amazon Prime, so I had to do it. So I put up a review with my buddy Isaac, so you can check that down below if you want to know my thoughts on the anime series of Vinland Saga. But the manga still does have enough differences, and I'm still way interested into continuing the manga, especially after finishing the anime, because I really want to know what happens next. But as far as Book 3 of Vinland Saga goes, this pretty much covers this big event that happens where Thorkell is on the tail of Askeladd's group because he's trying to get the prince as his hostage, Prince Canute. And this deals with the mutiny of Askeladd's group. It deals with Prince Canute, his transition as a character, which was really interesting, and also a big fight between Thorfinn and Thorkell. What I want to say about Thorkell is this guy is this is an insane human being, but he's not evil in his attempt at this. It's just his way of life. It's the whole battle and warriors and honor and dying on the battlefield. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fight, you're supposed to be a warrior, and then you go to Valhalla when you die, which is just a very terrifying mindset. And just imagine a guy that he says that he's 50 years old, a guy that spent 50 years, you know, at least 40 years probably on the battlefield. That's been his entire life. So that's what's really kind of scary. And also in a little bit, you kind of, at least for me, I really am drawn to Thorkell because of that, because he does have this sense of honor, even though, you know, like during the battle with Thorfinn, he doesn't want anybody else to enter. And also, when he's going head-to-head with Thorfinn, you know, people are laughing because Thorfinn's still a kid, you know, he's like 16, 17 years old or whatever, and they're like, he's going to get his ass beat, and everyone's like laughing and joking, and Thorkell's like, stop. I respect this kid as a warrior, and I need you to respect him as such also. There won't be any making fun of him. It's like, even though they're enemies on the battlefield, he has this high respect and honor for them. So I really like that about his character. Also, I was thinking about this image that was drawn in the manga of Thorfinn, of the one character that tried to betray Askeladd, his vision of Thorkell in his mind, and it just made me think of like Berserk, and I was like, man, what if Thorkell became an apostle? What kind of like crazy intense, like he would be like Zod basically from Berserk, if you know what I'm talking about. He would be that kind of guy going around searching for the ultimate fight, the ultimate warrior to face. So I was just thinking of like Thorkell as an apostle. Also, Thorkell gives a little bit more information about Thorfinn's dad when he finally left their troop, the Jomsvikings. When he left, it was basically, he faked his own death to begin with, which we already knew that, but he came back to get his girl and his youngest child, and Thorkell was there to see this, and he came down, and he was expecting to bring Thors back into the fold and everything, but Thors was like, no, like, I'm leaving. And even Thorkell, who said that he mourned over Thor's death, who said that he was distraught for months, even that, he was still bound by the rules and conditions of the Jomsvikings, whereas you cannot leave without, you know, the proper way. You can't just leave. You are forced to death if that happens, and so he tries to attack Thors, and Thors, of course, disarms him and knocks him out without any weapons, just as we know the man could do. God, I miss that guy. I really do. But I do appreciate the flashbacks that they throw in here, so it's good to kind of still see him around, even though he's not actually around. But just the fact that Thorkell is so bound into that way of life that he would still, even after saying that he mourned for his friend's death, would still rather hold true to the way of the Vikings that he was part of than to, you know, be his own person, being his own man, and accept and respect this decision that Thor's made. But like I said, with Thorkell, it's all about the battlefield. That's where you see his respect come in. That's where you see how he sees the axe on the ground, which is a really funny moment, but also terrifying moment, where he's coming down to Askeladd's group and he sees the axe on the ground, and he just has this look of disdain in his eyes. He's like, pick up your axe and swing at me as hard as you can so you can at least die like a proper warrior. And that's just because they don't want to kill weaklings. They want to fight. They literally tell everyone, we're going to kill you, but pick up your weapons and try to fight us. It's great. But with that is the mutiny in Askeladd's group, right? So they're doing a lot of things they're not used to. They're used to being on the sea and whatnot, and so they're traveling through snow. They're losing members. They're hungry. You know, they're protecting this prince, and they're like, "Why is Askeladd caring so much about this prince? Let's just let him go, hand him over to Thorkell, and we can get the fuck out of here." Little do they know, Askeladd has his own kind of mission in mind with the prince. But so they basically start a mutiny against them, and they're like, "We're not going to follow you." And I love Askeladd's just pure kind of that calm sense that he's always had, that kind of nonchalant, you know, kind of feeling, where he's just like, you know, we had a lot of great times together. We fought together for years. We shared drinks and food together. But there's something I always wanted to tell you guys, and it is way more vulgar in the manga than it was in the anime. So I really, really appreciated that. He's just like, I don't know if I can find the page real quick. Okay, yeah, it was worth finding the page. So he's like, the truth is, I hated every last one of you with every fiber of my being. You stinking, pig-fucking Danish horsens. That's how it was translated, and I love it. You know, calling someone a pig fucker is a very underrated insult. We don't see enough pig fuckers around. Insults. So if you're going to insult somebody, I say, call them a pig fucker. Alright? That's what I... You shouldn't insult anybody, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so Askeladd's just like, you know, fighting against his own group, and he's actually winding up pretty injured. He winds up getting a few arrows in him, very reminiscent to Thor's death. Thorfinn shows up, you know, of course wants to protect Askeladd because Askeladd is his kill. He's the one that he's devoted his entire life to the pursuit of defeating Askeladd one day, and so he's not going to have that taken away from him. So then we get the epic fight between Thorfinn and Thorkell, and it is pretty fantastic. And it's great because I like the strategy that's in it, because me being a shorter guy, I remember being in martial arts where I had to fight people that were like 3 times taller than me, seemingly in my mind, seeing them as Thorkell with the axes, like that image. It's really fucking hard, but there are particular areas that you should go to try to strike, and before, Thorfinn was just trying to go for the killing blows and wasn't able to do it because Thorkell is so large, so massive. So this time he's trying to go more for the extremities, trying to hit the wrists and the calves and whatnot, bring them down, you know, bring down the tank. And of course, Thorkell's wearing all this armor and whatnot, so it's very, very hard to do. But Thorfinn winds up getting his arm freaking snapped, which almost leads him to lose the fight. Askeladd shares some advice to him, which, again, I really liked, because Askeladd's kind of playing this father figure role in a really twisted, kind of fucked up Stockholm Syndrome way. They have this relationship, this bond. Even though Thorfinn the entire time is like, don't help me, I don't want your help, but he takes the help. You know, he's saying that outright, but he still accepts the bandages. He still accepts the advice to win, takes that advice, and does manage to win. But of course, Thorfinn is so fueled with his own rage, it's like all he has in life. So even though he hits the glass jaw of Thorkell, you know, which will bring almost anybody down, really hard strike against the jaw, brings him down, but of course is just so wrapped up in his own rage, he just attacks Thorkell on the ground and rips out his fucking eye. And this is how you know how Thorkell is also fucked up, because even though he just got his eye ripped out by this kid, he still accepts that as his defeat. Like, he says that I was defeated. His band goes to attack Thorfinn, and they're like, no. And he's like, stop. I lost. Like, he has this, when it comes to the battlefield, is where his, like, full respect and admiration comes from. So he can even lose an eye and not hold a personal grudge against it, because he just accepts that on the battlefield, these things happen. So, it's crazy. He's a crazy, crazy man. The other thing to talk about here is Canute's development. Canute, of course, is this shy, you know, very feminized prince that was sheltered and cared for by Ragnar. Ragnar also is assassinated in this by Askeladd's group. And in his last dying moments, you know, he lets Askeladd know that the king wants Canute dead. The king wants the other prince, his brother, I can't remember his name, to be on the throne. So by doing this, you know, Prince Canute is basically worthless as a hostage or as a bargaining tool, because the king doesn't even want him on the throne. But of course the king can't let people know this outright, because it would cause all this chaos. So he basically sent Canute out with the expectation that he was going to die on this whole journey. So Canute knows this, and Canute, after being taken away by Bjorn to try to save him, you know, has this conversation with the priest, and they have this very interesting conversation about love, where he was talking about Ragnar. What Ragnar had for Canute wasn't the kind of love that the priest is talking about. The priest is talking about this overall just acceptance of the way the world and the universe works. At least that's what I'm inferring out of this, because he talks about the dead body that's before him, and it's like that dead body is love, because that dead body is not trying to get one over on anyone else. It's not trying to harm anyone else. It's not using its ego or something like that to pursue its own personal whatever. And so love to him, to this priest, the way he's explaining it, is just the world. It's the natural order of things. It's the trees, it's the snow, it's the sky, the sunrise. You know, all these things that just kind of work in coherence with each other, whereas mankind, we're always butting heads and fighting and doing all these horrible, disgusting things that are going way away from nature. So Canute kind of has this realization, or this revelation rather, where he sees that, you know, we're put on this earth, and of course they're Christian, and he believes that God is putting them through all these trials. It's just like, he just gets fed up with it. He's through this kind of like forcing us to seek this kind of ultimate paradise that we will never actually have here on earth. He says, you know, you still force us to seek it, Father in heaven. So he's not like directly renouncing his faith or anything, but he's renouncing this idea that we're supposed to strive for, you know, we're supposed to continue to struggle and struggle and struggle through fighting every single little aspect of ourselves that goes against what this God is teaching. And he's like, you know, screw it, I'm just going to do it right now. And then he, you know, Bjorn, of course, took the berserker mushroom again, which I still want to try one of those. And Canute calms him down by just putting his hands on his face and just giving him love, basically. He gives him a hug. You know, that's how he calms him down. And Canute is totally willing to die in that instance. He had a switch turned off in his mind, and now he's willing to put his life on the line for his own beliefs. He's saying, screw this test, screw this process, screw everything else. I'm just getting things done right now. Screw the fact that my father wants me killed. Screw the fact that I'm here with a bunch of blood-savage Vikings. I'm going to walk right up to these people and tell them what I want to do. And he does. He walks right up to Thorkell, and Thorkell's like, you know, we're going to test this, right? And he throws a punch, basically, that could completely break Canute's face, and Canute doesn't flinch at all. I love it. I love it, because though I expected Canute to have character development, that they start him off as this really shy character, you know, it's like, it's not too far outside the box to think that, oh, that's how they're going to start his character off and he's going to evolve. But the way it was done, just that switch, that trigger that went off, mostly because of Ragnar's death, and again talking with the priest about God and heaven and what is love and all of this, just the switch that happened in Canute's mind, I thought was really, really great. I thought it was done well, and though I probably don't fully understand or grasp every bit of philosophy that the mangaka is putting in here, I at least can respect how it was portrayed, and I really, really do. So, moving forward, now, the prince has basically said, like, we're going to go all together to the king, to King Sweyn, and figure this all out and fix this. So he's no longer a captive. In fact, he views everyone else, even Thorkell, as basically his subjects at this point. He's taking on the role of the king in his mind. He's reframing everything to the point where he is now the king. So, very excited moving forward. Like I said, I know the spoilers that happen for the rest of this arc because I did watch the anime, but I'm still very excited to read it in manga form, and I'm excited to go further now into the story and see everything that happens next. So, very, very excited. So let me know your thoughts of Book 3 of Vinland Saga down below, everything that happens with this big battle with Thorkell. Let me know your thoughts, Canute's development, all that down below. Thanks, as always, for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Give it a like if you want to. Stick around and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.